What's up, guys? Welcome to Cage.Connor. I am Connor. Today's video, we're going to be doing my UFC on ABC 9 preview slash predictions slash bets you can make slash whatever the fuck. Just overall pre-show for UFC on ABC 9. This is a great show. UFC returning to Abu Dhabi once again. They always come correct when they go to Abu Dhabi, so you know it's going to be a banger. Fortunately, we did lose Aaron Pico versus Mozart Avilov on this card. Rumored to be getting put on that Chicago pay-per-view later in August, which is only like 2 weeks away, and they still haven't announced that. So, kind of questioning now if that's actually going to get put on there, or if we're just going to kick that fight way down the line and it's going to get rebooked for like October or something like that. But we'll see. But it's unfortunate that that fight is not on this card, because that would have been probably my most anticipated fight of this card. I'm just very interested to see how that fight's going to actually go. Very interested to see how Aaron Pico make his UFC debut, how he's going to do in that featherweight division. I have high hopes for him, so yeah, very much looking forward to them rebooking that fight. But anyways, let's get into what the card actually is. Before we do that, though, make sure to subscribe to my channel over at Cage.Connor on YouTube. You're probably there right now. Go ahead, just click that subscribe button for me. Click the like button. Do all that fancy shit the YouTubers tell you to do. I very much appreciate that. All right, let's get into the actual video now. First fight on the main card then, of course, is Robert Whittaker versus Reiner de Ridder. Robert Whittaker coming in at -150. Reiner de Ridder coming in at a +130. It's a very interesting fight, very good fight. Big step up in competition for Reiner de Ridder here, coming off that win over Bo Nickel, of course. From all the way, I don't know, that wasn't even long ago. That was only in May. So only, you know, a couple months turnaround for Reiner de Ridder, who's really starting to rack him up here in the UFC. He's got, what did he do? He made his UFC debut against Gerald Meerschaert. Then he fought Kevin Holland, submitted him. And then, of course, he just TKO'd Bo Nickel. So, yeah, 3 wins already in the UFC for Reiner de Ridder. Probably less than a year in the UFC, I want to say. I can't remember exactly when that Gerald Meerschaert fight was. I believe it was last fall. But, yeah, less than a year, 3 big wins. Now he's fighting Robert Whittaker in what could potentially be a #1 contender fight for the UFC middleweight division. I know Caio Borralho versus Imavov is happening in September, and you would kind of think that's probably the #1 contender fight for the next shot at the middleweight title, to fight the winner of DDP versus Hamza Chimaev. But the winner of this will be right there, at least they'd be no more than 1 away. Well, at least for Reiner de Ridder, he'd be no more than 1 away. Robert Whittaker might need 2 more, but we will see. Yeah, how is this one gonna go here? Of course, Robert Whittaker coming off that loss to Hamza Chimaev back at the last Abu Dhabi card in October of 2024, in which that did not go well for him at all. Got his teeth smashed in or whatever. They bent back. Hamza Chimaev got a hard fucking squeeze, so don't want to fuck with that guy. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Whittaker here. I think the odds makers got this one right. I think it's gonna be a very close fight, but I do think Whittaker is going to be able to avoid the takedowns, and then I think on the feet he will kind of be able to just pick de Ridder apart. I know de Ridder is going to be looking to pressure Whittaker a lot, kind of use that same type of game plan he did on Bo Nickel, but I don't think he will find the same success he did on the feet against Bo Nickel. That he won't find that same success against Robert Whittaker. I just kind of think Robert Whittaker is going to be a little too quick on the feet for him, kind of be able to dance around him, move around, and kind of just use his jab, use his footwork, land some big shots, squeeze out some rounds that way. I think de Ridder might win 1 or 2 rounds here, but I don't see him being able to take Whittaker down and just kind of submitting him if that's his game plan here. Although, I don't know. He is a very big middleweight. He did fight at heavyweight in ONE FC, so, you know, he's very big here. But Whittaker, just too fast, too quick, too experienced for him. I don't think the same game plan he had against Bo Nickel is going to work on Robert Whittaker, if that's what he's going to try to do. But we'll see. De Ridder is a very wild guy, so, you know, who knows? This game plan could just be wacky enough to pull this off. Could be a DDP type of situation where we all thought kind of had no chance, but I think DDP possesses a lot more power in his hands and is a little bit better on the feet than de Ridder is. So yeah, leaning Robert Whittaker here. I would go Robert Whittaker by decision if I had to pick one. I think unanimous decision. I think it probably goes 5 rounds. De Ridder been 5 rounds before, so shouldn't be too hard for him. I'm not really suspecting that Day Ritter has a bad gas tank or anything. So yeah, I think it'll go the 4-5 rounds, the full 25 minutes, and Robert Whittaker will win a decision. In the co-main event, then Peter Yan versus Marcus McGee. Peter Yan coming in at a -375. Marcus McGee coming in at +300. This is a very interesting fight. A weird fight. Weird that the UFC made this fight. I don't know what their deal is with Marcus McGee, why they give him such a big step up in competition. Marcus McGee coming off a decision win over Jonathan Martinez, which, don't get me wrong, is a good win, but not good enough to get you Peter Yan, the number 2 ranked guy in the UFC bantamweight rankings at the moment. So a little weird. I think they might just be giving him a gimme here because Marcus McGee is 35, and that's very old for bantamweights, especially top 10 bantamweights in the UFC. So I think they're kind of just thinking, hey, let's give this dude one here, give him a big step up in competition, see if he can actually pull it off, because it's kind of now or never, right? If Marcus McGee were to lose this one, shoots way back down the rankings, probably doesn't get the biggest name in his next fight, and has to work his way up through the next few years, and he doesn't really have a few years to work his way up here. So now or never for Marcus McGee. You got to win this one if you ever want to see that UFC title. Peter Yan, of course, coming off that decision win over Davison Figueiredo back in November of 2024. Looked great in that fight. A classic Peter Yan performance where he kind of picks the guy apart, is able to keep it on the feet, uses boxing, uses footwork. He looked great. Marcus McGee, like I was saying, coming off that decision win over Jonathan Martinez. Jonathan Martinez, I was pretty high on before this fight. So Marcus McGee definitely showed out here. He definitely impressed me. He's got some impressive kickboxing, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's going to be enough to handle Peter Yan. I'll go Peter Yan by decision here. Yan doesn't typically get too many finishes, kind of more of a volume puncher. And I think over the course of 3 rounds, if this was 5 rounds, I might be picking Yan by finish, but I think 3 rounds, he's not going to have enough time to get Marcus McGee out of there. So I will go Yan by decision. Next fight, Charbullet versus Marc-Andre Bollier. I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong. Charbullet coming in at -600. Marc-Andre coming in at +425. The odds way too far apart here for me. Charbullet's good. He's not that good. He's not -600 good against Marc-Andre, in my opinion. Marc-Andre coming off that brutal knockout win over Bruno Silva from earlier this year, and they turned him right around to get him on this card against Charbullet, who of course is coming off that decision loss to MVP from back at the last, where was that card? Saudi Arabia, I believe. Yeah, in February. That was the co-main event to Izzy versus Imavov, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, Charbullet, decision loss, MVP. Charbullet hasn't really impressed me too much in the UFC thus far. There was that wild spinning back fist TKO he got where he double landed it on that guy. God, who, I don't even remember. Who cares? But yeah, he hasn't impressed me too much. I think he gives off such like a scary presence to him with the eye and everything and the way he talks that like you just suspect this guy to be like a one punch hitter, like a one punch knockout guy, and he's just not that. He's definitely more of a point fighter. He definitely is more of a volume striker, and he's good. He's flashy on the feet, throws a lot of kicks, throws a lot of cool shit, but it's not enough in my opinion. Like I think anytime he runs into a high level grappler, he's gonna lose. He didn't impress me at all in the MVP fight, and MVP is a fight you should be winning if you're gonna be a guy that's gonna be challenging for the title, especially at this stage in MVP's career. You should definitely be able to get a win over him, and he just couldn't. He couldn't get it done. He couldn't find his range. Granted, if you're gonna kickbox with MVP, you're gonna have a hard night in the office. That's gonna be a very hard puzzle to figure out for anyone. So, not too much shame there losing MVP, but it's just with that and his other wins in the UFC involved, he just has not overly impressed me. Marc-Andre, like I was saying, brutally knocked out Bruno Silva in his last fight with that nasty elbow. Bruno Silva had to get carried out on a stretcher. It was a crazy knockout. But Marc-Andre, longtime UFC vet at this point, and yeah, they're kind of just feeding him Charbullet in the hopes that he probably gets knocked out. They're probably hoping for something flashy, something fun from Charbullet here. I will go with Charbullet probably by decision, but I don't like it. I definitely don't like it. I could see a world where that's the thing, is like, is Marc-Andre gonna try to grapple with the Charbullet? Probably not. He's probably gonna sit there and try to stand with him. I don't know. I could see it like a TKO, something like that for Charbullet, but I would probably Yes, it goes to the scorecards. I'd probably guess Char Bullet wins a 30-27 decision and just kind of outpoints him on the feet the entire fight. Next fight then, Asu Amabayev versus Jose Ochoa. Coming in at Asu coming in at a -118. Ochoa coming in at a -102. It's an interesting fight. Asu coming off that decision win, or no, excuse me, that TKO loss to Manel Kopp from earlier this year. I believe this fight ended up being a weird main event situation because the main event got pulled at the last second. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't remember exactly. I think that's what happened here. But yeah, he ran into Manel Kopp. He was a touted prospect at this flyweight division, and yeah, ran into Manel Kopp. No real shame there. Manel Kopp probably a top 5 flyweight in the world, so kind of got a big step up in competition there. And wasn't able to hang. Jose Ochoa coming off that TKO win over Cody Durden. I was actually very impressed with this one. Cody Durden, pretty good, and Jose Ochoa was able to get him out of there in the second round. Cody Durden definitely very durable too, so definitely very impressed with him being able to get Cody Durden out of there. I'll probably go Asu by decision. I think he'll probably use his grappling, use his wrestling, squeeze out some rounds here. I'm picking a lot of fights by decision on this main card particularly, I know, but that's just where the cookie crumbles sometimes. So yeah, Asu by decision, what I'd probably go with here. Next fight then, Nikita Krylov versus Bogdan Guskov. Bogdan Guskov coming in at a +175. Krylov coming in at a -205. Krylov, of course, coming off that brutal knockout loss to Dominic Reyes from earlier this year. He just got flatlined in that fight. I was actually very surprised by that. I thought Krylov would be able to get some takedowns and maybe submit Reyes in that fight, but no, that did not happen at all. Don't doubt Dominic Reyes. Bogdan, of course, coming off that God, who did he choke out here? Billy something. I can't pronounce his last name correctly, so excuse me, but he's on the prelims as well, the guy that he choked out. And yeah, this pretty good fight to kick off the main card here. I think I will go Krylov by submission if I had a guess. I think Bogdan, not enough experience in the UFC yet to really tell how far he's going to be able to go. I don't think Krylov is like chinny by any means, and I know Bogdan's going to want to keep this on the feet, keep it standing and look for a knockout. I don't think he's going to be able to find that on Krylov. I think Dominic Reyes just hit him with the right punch at the right time, so I'm not like completely counting out Krylov's chin here by any means. And I don't think Bogdan's going to be able to find it. Here's the look at the rest of the main card for you, or no, the rest of the full card for you. Of course, I'm going Robert Whittaker by decision, Peter Yan decision, Char Bullet decision, Asu Abayev, the third round sub. I know I said decision earlier. I'm back and forth between sub and decision for him. You gotta figure someone's gonna get some finishes here. And then yeah, like I was saying, Nikita Krylov, I'm gonna go sub third round over Bogdan. I think he'll find the choke here at some point. Probably rear naked, get a takedown, take his back. There's some interesting fights on the prelims here I kind of want to touch on real quick. Bryce Mitchell versus Said Nurmagomedov. I'm taking Said. I know Bryce Mitchell's the favorite here. He's dropping down to bantamweight for the first time in his career. But I think Said's going to be able to look good on the feet against Bryce Mitchell, and Bryce Mitchell's going to look for a takedown at some point, and I think he's going to have a hard time getting Said down, and even if he does, Said very good with submissions, so I think that was a bad matchup for Bryce Mitchell, in my opinion, and I think Said's going to choke him out. Amanda Ribas versus Tabitha Ricci is an interesting fight. I'm going to go Amanda Ribas by decision there. I think Tabitha Ricci is going to be looking for takedowns and going to be unsuccessful with that against Amanda Ribas. Decent card overall, not bad. I really wish that Aaron Pico Evlov fight was still on here. So all things considered, let's do my pre-fight rating for the card. I'm going to give this card a solid 7.1 on paper. I think it's a decent card. It's not bad at all by any means. I can't wait till we get back to the Apex. Not like that I'm actually looking forward to getting back to the Apex, but just so I can rank those super fucking low because they always suck. And yeah, we will have some more diverse rankings by that point. But I don't think they're going back to the Apex till like October. So gonna be a little while, and we have some decent cards leading up until then, so we'll see how the September cards end up shaping out and all that as well. But yeah, for this card, UFC on ABC 9, gonna go with a 7.1, so looking forward to it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel to check out my post show for the UFC on ABC 9 card. I'll be posting that probably on Sunday at some point. And enjoy the fights, guys. We'll see you then. Bye bye.